everybody, and a very warm welcome to the very first episode of Moneyview presents Friends of Finance, where we speak to people from different walks of life who have made a mark in their field using the right financial acumen. We are on a mission to uncover the tried and tested secrets of financial success from them. And guess who we have as guests on the inaugural episode of our show? Two very special people. Able to guess? Let me help you. The pioneers behind the very first Indian silk brand to touch a turnover of 100 crores back in 1994. And trust me when I say this, their Indian silk sari is loved by every woman in the Indian household, including myself, from Chennai to Chandigarh and all across the globe. Please come. Yes. How are you?
I'm good.
All good?
All good.
Please join me in welcoming Mr. Kumar and Mr. Preetham Kumar from Kumaran Silks. Thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be a part in this one.
Thank you, sir. Firstly, we're very, very excited to have the both of you on the inaugural episode of our show. And more so ever, we're very excited to have you considering we want to explore on your financial wisdom, on your successes, on your journey, and want to gain a lot of tips, valuable tips on how to manage finances, considering that I am from this generation. We're talking for this particular generation, so thank you for doing this. Please tell me, how's the business doing?
Our business is doing great. Our main core and main same business is Muhurtam days. That is our main thing because we have customers for 3 generations. Actually, Kumaran Silk is started by my grandfather P.G. Shangaraj Chettiar and my father P.C. Ramurthy. And one more thing, the store you see now was not the store they were established on 1955. This store was opened in 1955 and only this much was there. And before the store opening, my grandfather and father used to get sarees from Kanjuram, daily come by train, get down at Mambalam station and sell the sarees by door to door. Because our customer thing is, we take care of them personally. We deal them personally. Today also, the first customer who came is coming here for us more than 40 years. The person from outside who's selling the cucumber fruits and all also is my customer.
Wow.
India's richest person, Ambani also is our customer.
Now that was really, really interesting, sir. Thanks for giving us so much about Kumaran Silks and telling us about your history. It's pretty interesting and insightful. But Preetham, tell me, what is it that has changed in the last few years with Kumaran Silks?
I'd say the knowledge and exposure of the ethnic space with the people in our generation right now. Compared to earlier where there used to be more occasions to wear it. Today, our generation are not really, it's not the first preference. But over time, it brings them over to the ethnic space. You know, they grow up, they have a wedding to attend, or they're getting married. And so at that point of time, what they have is that they look at it all as the same. So there's not much of a differentiator between what is a zari, what is a non-zari, what is a silk, what is heavy, what is light. So a lot of people doing good right now, and there are much more places which they are getting exposed to. So we as a store, we try to kind of being more accessible and approachable to them.
Very nice. But what has changed financially over the years for the brand?
Financially, I would say is that, it's like the opportunity to be present in multiple places.
Right.
That's something which can be for sure played out better. Because back then we had only the Tier 1 cities in the elder generations. So Madras was the shopping hub, people used to come. Well, that changed. It's Chennai today.
Correct.
And then there's a customer sitting in New Zealand or Singapore and it's like, you know what, I want to get it where I want to.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I have time, I'd be happy to come to Chennai and shop. So we have both. So we should be able to cater to both the aspects of it.
Right.
So we used to be the pioneers in exports of silk sarees from Chennai. And so we used to have our goods accessible as much as possible across the globe or across to our customers. So now we're trying out ways in terms of like, getting in online, working on a plan to expand. So that's to be financially resilient. As opposed to like now we have a very, very strong customer base. And thanks to it, thanks to the strong word about and our customer experiences they've had carried for generations, that, we have been happy. Food's been like, plate's been full. So things have been going on well for now, but it's good to adapt to the changes.
But yes, sir, please tell us, considering that we are all from this generation, we want to know the top 3 tips that you would want to suggest all of us to manage finances better.
Actually, younger generation, I advise them to be realistic, not materialistic. Another thing, we feel younger generation, as soon as they earn, immediately they spend in all luxury items, like watches, cars, all like that. And another thing, they feel only if you go in a luxury car or luxury, because we wear luxury dresses and all, we get respect.
Correct.
My father always say, people should respect you by your character thing, not by what you're wearing and all. That is artificial.
Correct.
Not real thing. See, another thing, when you spend money, you should slowly invest.
Right.
Actually, invest in a proper way, depending on what is your taste. Some you can invest in gold, a mutual fund, something like that.
Right.
But that should start from the beginning itself. And another thing, what you think, you take advice, but immediately, because what is a guarantee that all the advice are good advice? You should, you are getting for advice from 5 people. You take advice and you go sit, think and take decision.
Brilliant.
That's what my father has told me.
Right.
I agree on strongly on one thing, is that spend on the income you receive from your investment. That is, I invest. I have a couple of investments and I spend from the returns I get in that. But I don't get the drawings which I take. I don't go and just blow it out, because that's just blown.
Right.
So, but I like to have fun with the money I got back from what I put in. So that's something I, wanted to share for anyone else to follow this.
Just want to understand, being in the industry since 1955, if there's anything that Kumaran Silks could have done differently, what would that be?
Well, there are a couple of things, but we're grateful for where we are and how we are till today. So T Nagar is like the biggest market. There was a survey done, and it's the largest market in square meters for the sale of textile and silk.
Wow.
So that's in the end all of Asia. So we're very thankful to have such a large store here, and we grew here and we've retained here.
Right.
But if I was there, probably in a time loop 20 years back, I would prefer to start seeding expansion plans, probably in other parts of the country and maybe even outside the country, like internationally. Just because it's the diaspora has really grown.
Right.
People don't live in the same cities in our own country. And it's like a global village, right?
Beautiful. Now that you told me about your store wanting to grow much more, what does Kumaran Silks actually spend most of its money on?
Mostly on HR, our staffing, and our sales incentives. So these two are the core components where the major of the chunk of the revenue goes in. In terms of how we balance it, is just the fact that we have invested in the same aspects. That is, we don't pressurize our staffing just because they're getting incentivizing on it. Or at the same time, because we have, we spend on our staffs, we just don't treat them like a machine just coming in and going. So we have a high retainership, and that happens is because we take care of them when they need us.
Correct.
So one of the main things is where they live. So we started caring about, in fact, my ancestors, they started caring about where they live. So they invested in homes where which we call as quarters, for if they are single, as bachelor quarters, if they have a family. regardless of the size of the family, even if it's 4 or 5, we have a good-sized apartments. So what this does is that this takes the mental stress out of him, that if anything's going wrong with him at home in terms of his rent, education, so this gives more money into their pocket. And regardless of the inflation which happens decade to decade or every 5 years in that way, it protects them from the burden of shelling out more money, wanting more money. So that one has been a key component for us, which has helped us a lot to stay resilient.
Pretty interesting. So with regards to rents, you mean rent hikes, the rental hikes, right?
Yes. Rental hikes have been, if you take it about in the last, we've been here for about 70 years, we're going to touch. But even if we say the last 10, 20 years, the rentals have been increased. Okay. Like I can't stay in, if I'm staying in a rental house, I have to be earning more to ensure that I have excess funds to invest on other things. Or at least spend on other things, So this takes away we want our staff to be free, care, mentally, be active to perform his duty. When they have any kind of a burden, that impacts their performance, and their performance again will impact on the business.
Correct.
And which again will go impacting on his own job. So that is a very core component which we take care of. Of course, we have health benefits which we take care of, and then the government has given very good subsidies like ESI, which is basically some things which any emergencies which they have are taken care of. We are a part of that, of course, but in staffing is something as a core component which we have really taken care of.
Pretty nice. Now that we had a bunch of questions and some really conversational answers, we want something fun, something quick. So we have the very famous rapid fire for the both of you. We want the answers to be quick, rapid, and full of fire. Are we up for it?
Give it a try.
Awesome. Done. If not a business into silk saris, then what?
I want to open a chain of boutique resorts.
Wow. Online business or offline business?
Both, but nothing beats offline.
Name an Indian business personality you admire the most.
That.
Wow. Amazing. Bang on. Best financial advice you've received and from whom?
My first boss, he was just just don't go around spending money, your father's money. Try to earn up and stand on your own feet. Everything started from then.
Perfect. Debt or equity for raising funds?
Well, equity is emotional, but that's the way ahead. But too much equity is dangerous.
Do you follow financial influencers online?
I really enjoy their content, but I don't really take them too seriously.
If you could go back in time, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Don't chase to impress others. Just try to impress yourself.
Preetham, you were full of fire and answers were spot on. Sir, let's go. If not a business into silk saris, then what?
Sure, hospitality. That's what I made my son to do that one.
Online business or offline business?
Silk saris, only you should feel the fabric.
Name an Indian business personality you admire the most.
Sure, Ratan Tata. They are the only person, what that ancestral has started the principle till today, they don't divert even single % also.
Debt or equity for raising funds?
That depending on you. Today's world, all investors, they like only equity. But we have to be careful.
Do you follow financial influencers online?
Normally, not. But through my children, I listen.
If you could go back in time, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Investment. Save. According to it, you spend it.
Best financial advice you've received and from whom?
From my dad. It's like save, invest and grow.
But I must say, we've had an enlightening session with Mr. Kumar and Mr. Preetham Kumar, just to understand how you took care and took control of your finances to build and sustain this legendary brand in the name of Kumaran Silks. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be a part of this podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So today we had the privilege to learn a lot about financial management and business resilience from a textile legend. If you have found this episode helpful, do consider liking, sharing and subscribing to Moneyview.